Yo, what's going on, y'all? I'm Kay.
I'm Chaz.
And we are Culture Content here. Today we got a special guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Go ahead, partner.
Hey, I'm Jamie Younger, Northside, Young Brothers Bar, BJ's Event Center, here in the flesh.
Okay, nice to have you here,
Yes,
partner,
sir.
with us
Yes,
on Culture
sir. Yes,
Content.
sir.
If you haven't noticed, we are on the road again. All right, we traveling all season 2, baby. So we are here at this lovely establishment, and this is the. Let's be real. This is not the bar, but this is the second. This is the entertainment center. You know, the event center. So he got the expansion, exactly. So you got a lot of things going on with you, brother, and it's always a blessing to see it from one man to another. That you just making it happen. You know what I mean?
Trying to, man.
No, love is love. Not trying to. You doing it. You know what I mean? Like you're doing it. Let's not even. Don't be modest. You could flex a little bit. I don't mind.
Pittsburgh make it easy.
I know. Right. So, let's get it started. Tell us what got you started with the business.
I was always business minded, so I was always business minded. Even when I come home from school, I was business minded. I was like, there was something about like when I came from school. I went to school for like history and secondary education, and at that time it was like. They was making like 28,000. I was like, ain't nothing fun in life. Like waking up. No, it was just like waking up January 1st and knowing every penny you gonna get till December 31st. It didn't seem like much excitement.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like my nature is this excitement. You know what I'm saying? And I already had a baby girl when I was in high school, so it was like, I said, man, I can't really just. It was the money was great for the time. You figure it's 1995. You making 32,000. It was good, but it just wasn't the excitement of just the, your baby's feet growing every day, and you just don't know like, hey, I got to make $1.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sneakers, clothes, diapers,
so it was just
formula.
It was just the excitement of just doing something. You know what I'm saying? Doing something. You know what I'm saying? And I might have not always done the right something.
Right, exactly. Right.
I was always doing something.
It got you hit, though. So you did something right.
You did on the right path.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to be something. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't always the right something, but you know, it was always I was always an entrepreneur.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was always an entrepreneur, man. I done had several businesses that. Some panned out, some didn't pan out, but that's just part of, you know what I'm saying, being in business. You know, I had a car lot before, I had a little mortgage company before, I had 2 cell phone stores, did a little contract, and I still do a little contract, and I just be more on the supply side now. I do a lot of supplies and stuff, but other than that, like, you know, you got to try. I was trying. Exactly. I was trying anything, everything.
Jack of all trades. You know what I mean? You got to try until you find what's your niche. You know, something that makes you, something that works for you.
Then my dad was always like, we should get a bar. We should get a bar. And I'm like, man, nobody want no bar. It's like, we should get a bar. He's, I'm telling you, man, he don't even drink or nothing.
Right.
He's like, but it sounds good. Like, we should get a bar. He always wanted a bar. And I'm like, nigga, I don't want no bar. You know what I'm saying?
That's just not my speed.
And then, but a deal came up we couldn't refuse. It was like, he tried to get a bar up on Shadeland Avenue. And the guy wouldn't sell it to him. You know what I'm saying? He said, you third in line, but he was the first one in line with his money, right?
Exactly.
But he was, the man wouldn't sell it to him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you third. If these 2 fall through, then I got you. But he was first to ask. You know what I'm saying?
And if the money is here, why I'm not even going to get into it.
You know what I mean? You can kind of know why. You know what I'm saying?
So, you don't say it without saying it. You know
what I'm saying? So that's what it was. And then one day, man, like, he was like, yo, Pee Wee told me a bar for sale. And I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? It was down here. And I was like, okay, and, you know, but, and he was like, we should get it.
Right.
And I'm like, we? Like,
when did you wrap me into this?
Yeah,
like, I get wrapped up.
When did I get wrapped into it? You know what I'm saying? I had 2 cell phone stores at the time. I'm like,
so I'm good.
Like, I'm good. Yeah. Like, I don't need a bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like that was always his dream. So I was like, you know, let's go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, right before we, it was the day of the closing. He was like, hey. your mom ain't gonna let me have nothing to do with the bar. So
What? You talking about the 11th hour?
Yeah, backtrack to
I'm a back out of this.
Oh, wow.
You got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I never wanted it. You know what I'm saying?
On your lap.
He was like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I took it and, you know what I'm saying, made it, you know, to what it is today. You know what I'm saying? Me and my brother just held it down. You know what I'm saying?
The rest is history.
My dad bailed out and, you know, we...
Right. It just so happened to fall in your lap.
Just fall in my lap. It was like, it was me and my dad all the way to the closing. Wow. He like, you got your money? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you got your money? He is like, your mom ain't gonna let me do nothing, so you gotta put up all the money.
Oh, man.
I got you though.
I got you though. It's all on you.
It's all on you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh man. He was like, I don't want to lose my house. You know what I'm saying? My house and my home, and you know what I'm saying? All this, and you know.
Yeah.
He said, your mom ain't gonna have it, so you know.
So was it?
I ended up losing my house and home.
Oh man! I know you got it back though. You got something. You definitely got something out of it because this establishment says otherwise. So, do you find yourself living his dream or yours, or it's just because you're able to be a hustler and you can like pick up and make money out of anything? You just
basically, it started out as his dream, but I took the ball, and you know, nothing gives me more pleasure than carrying out my dad's dream. He'd be 74 this year.
Oh, bless his.
Him and my mom be 74, so you know they still live, able-bodied, kicking. You know, so
that's a blessing.
They can still come in here walking. Yeah. Like, look what you built, son.
That's what you know. We named that. My mom's name was Brenda Joyce. That's how we got
BJ Vincent.
Yeah.
That's one for y'all.
Learn something.
Yeah. So her name is Brenda Joyce. So this is in honor of her. I'd rather honor her while she's living than, you know.
You gotta give them their flowers. A lot of people like to give their flowers after the fact.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to do that. I honored her while she here. We keep this place like in her esteem, like well respectable. You ain't gonna find nobody smoking in here.
That's a
nothing.
fact.
Like, you know what I'm saying? This is named after her. So I got to stand up to her standards.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny you say that because I've been here plenty of times. Yeah,
you know,
I've been,
got to stand up to her standards. When she come in, she inspects. She inspects. She like, good job.
Right, she's one of those.
Yeah, she'll be like, I will take that sign down. She's quick to say that. Like, she's real quick to say that. And we kind of, I remember one time we was finishing up the construction in here, right? And we in here, and she said, look, let me talk to you. She said, I smelled some weed when I came in there. And she was like, if y'all keep smoking weed, I don't want no parts of that. Take my name off of it. Like, I don't want to be part of that. So I was like, look, even though we were still under construction, I told the guys, like, don't smoke in here no more. It was like, well, it ain't even done. I said, my mom said don't smoke.
When she talked, that's it.
Yeah, that was it.
I listen to your mom.
And then I was like, you know, when you say that, they got to understand you're not trying to check them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's about respect.
It's about respect and trying to, like, be better than what you were before.
Sure.
You know? Like, you can't just be out here doing the same thing because if you were, you wouldn't have this. You know, you wouldn't be as popular as you are with the bar and everything that you've done so far. So, you know, when you get checked, man, don't take it personal.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's principles at the end of the day. That's what you gotta realize. You gotta
realize we gotta grow up eventually, right?
For sure.
We gotta do the right thing, and then if anything, just respect the establishment. Whatever you do on the side is, but not while you in this establishment. You know, so I definitely hear that. So go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, I've been here plenty of times. Definitely a welcoming bar, real chill. How are you able to, you know, have that love of the community and still have a chill atmosphere, you know, at the end of the day? How are you able to do that?
Just being born and raised over here, you know, everybody.
So you from here?
Yeah, everybody's related in some ways. It's 6 degrees of separation. Like, everybody got a kid by somebody's cousin.
That's Pittsburgh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the way it is. You went to school with them.
Yep.
You went to school with them, or they aunt, or they cousin, or they brother. So it's just kind of like, I'm here. Like, I'm from here. So it's like, I played youth sports with everybody, or went to high school with everybody, and it's just like, you know, and being in the streets and just knowing everybody, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's
funny
just how.
because when I first moved out here, somebody tried to call me by my last name. Oh yeah, you know the Joneses. I'm like, you know how many hundreds of Joneses out here, but like Pittsburgh is such a small community, like you said, where people just know each other's by last names. Exactly. It's like, oh yeah, I know this family because you know the cousins. And
like, yeah, I know them Joneses.
What side of town they on? Yeah, I know them now. I'm like, yeah, that's not me, you know. But I definitely understand what you're saying though, like for sure. So you have a bar, and I would say that there would be like a lot of competition only because, you know, there's just who doesn't like to go to a bar, have a drink, a restaurant, you know, naturally. So what makes you stand out from the other restaurants and bars and grills? Like, tell people why they should come here.
Well, I think it's just the family vibe, like the family atmosphere. Like my bartenders are welcoming. You know, you gotta have the right bartender for the right occasion. So, you know, you got a bartender that's more like an auntie mom type situation, or you got a bartender that's like your little sister or something. It's just the scheduling them on the right days for the right occasion, and it's like cheers. Everybody know everybody. Everybody went to high school with everybody, and we always getting the jaw jacking about Oliver and Perry, and just, you know, just all that type stuff. And then the old heads, you know. I don't want to call them old heads.
Right.
The old heads kind of, the elders, the OGs, they kind of feel comfortable here. So this is like their spot that they feel comfortable hanging out till 2 a.m. So it's kind of like,
this is not the nicest neighborhood. I mean, all around, you know, naturally, but like the fact that they have that safe haven coming is like super dope.
That's so you know, it's not, you know, so I think that's what sets us apart. And you know, to me, in the bar game, there really is no such thing as competition because, you know, everybody all boats rise at high tide.
Or everybody eats.
Yeah, everybody
that must be
eats.
That's a Pittsburgh thing. We say everybody eats. So it all comes full circle. We mean the same thing.
Definitely, man. Like, so to me, like, the more people to an area, the better.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for years, I was like the only black bar, black-owned bar in the area. There was other black frequenting bars, and now there's like 5 black-owned black bars in the area, and you can just see the difference. Like, there's more people coming to the area, so it's better, right? You got people coming from the Hill and Homewood and stuff over to here now. And one thing about Pittsburgh is people bar hop. Like, people do not sit in one bar.
No, not at all.
You understand what I'm saying? So now, people that's going to them other spots, I'm on their schedule now. Like, oh man, Youngers is around the corner. I always heard about it. Let me stop in there. You know what I'm saying? Because they hop and they don't never sit in one bar.
Right, exactly.
So you know, it's like July 1st be 16 years. So you know, I'm like the old head on the block now. You know what I'm saying? So
you talk about the other old heads, and you one of them.
I probably got more years behind me than I got in front of me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we gonna make this eternity, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Gonna put a number on once ahead.
Hey, I don't know, man. Ain't none of my kids show interest yet. I don't know how much longer I got. Man, closer I get to 50, I'd be like, I don't know.
Right, 100%.
Be like that. So I see you got a nice little Lincoln shirt on. You know what I'm saying? If you ever watch Culture Content, you should know I'm from Lincoln. That's number one. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
The first HBCU is LU, right? Yeah. So tell me what was life like at Lincoln, because obviously, like, when I graduated, and, you know, 2013 was way different than when you graduated. I'm talking about from buildings to staff to everything. Like, tell me about your experience at Lincoln.
It's the best experience of my life, man. It's the best experience of my life. I went to Lincoln. Hey, it was back in that time, right? But it's the best experience, man. Like, you know, I get chills just thinking about Lincoln, you know, because it really changed my life. You know what I'm saying?
And tell me how it changed your life, because I feel like it did the same for me.
Well, you know, being a kid of, you know, entrepreneurial spirit, you know, I got into entrepreneurship in high school, you know, and my mom, you know, seen certain things, and, you know, she seen the path I was headed down, and, you know, she caught me in the mix of doing something one day I shouldn't have been doing, and, you know what I'm saying, and she, you know, we got into a tug of war over it, because I'm like, if I don't, you can't flush this.
No, you can't take that.
I might lose my life.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So after me and her kind of had that coming to Jesus, she said, look, man, you gotta you want to come back to this house, you either
make it
gotta
straight.
go to school or you gotta go to the Army. But you ain't, you're done. Like all that's over for you. You know what I'm saying? So first time I seen Lincoln, I got dropped off there. Very first time.
You seen the cornfields, right?
Very first time, because all the little stuff, you know how you gotta go take your entrance exam and all that. For some reason, I would create a scenario where I ain't go. Like it was always something. Like, something happened, I ain't go. You know, we get into an argument, I ain't go. It was just like, and she was like, "Look, they still got that acceptance for you. I called up there, you can go." And she dropped me off up there. Her and my dad dropped me off. That was it. It was over.
Like Lincoln that's not around the corner though.
No, look, they dropped me off. The first time I seen Lincoln, I was there to stay.
Wow.
I ain't have a chance. It was like no turning back. You know what I'm saying?
Did they wave to you like stuff on the side on the curb and stuff?
They stayed 2-3 days because they had to get the paperwork in order because I ain't had nothing. They had to go to the bursar's office and everything. They had to start from scratch. They had to start from scratch up there, right? So they had to stay 2-3 days. And they just waved, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I was homesick like a mug. Like, I was from Pittsburgh. There wasn't many of us up there. It probably wasn't when you was there.
I mean, it was a couple, but still, the population is different.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
you know, back then we was all West Coast, and they send me to the East Coast. And, you know what I'm saying?
The West Coast of PA.
Yeah, we was wearing flannel shirts and Dickies, and they was up there wearing polos and Giroux and all that.
That's a clash right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely a clash right there.
It was definitely a culture clash, you know what I'm saying? So I was there to stay, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, but it changed my life though. I mean, you know, you learn how to survive up there because up there we ain't have computers, or we ain't have phones, we ain't have cable, we ain't have nothing. Like the payphone used to ring in the hallway, and you would hope somebody came and got you. Like you would hope somebody answered it and said, "Hey, somebody wants you on the phone." Right. You had to go down the hallway, use the phone. That was the days where you had credit card, calling card numbers. Like you got a number, you know what I'm saying? You burning the number up. So
there's some haters out there that would have been like, bang, you know what I mean?
Like, no, there was a lot of haters because there would be somebody actually waiting on the call. And they'd be like, hello, and they'd be like, can I speak to Jamie in room 404? And they just be like, click. You know what I'm saying? Because they waiting on the call.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was a payphone, man. You have to call to a payphone. Like your mom and them would have to rely on the payphone to get in touch with you. So, I mean, you had to survive. We ain't had the buildings they had when we was there. We ain't have stores around. People was hustling up there, man, selling hot sausages on hot plates out the rooms. You had blunts and you know what I'm saying, nickel bags and sodas, pops.
Listen, that same stuff was happening. Man. Same stuff was happening 20 years later.
Lincoln was actually the first place that really taught me, like, got me outside of Pittsburgh and really like taught me that you ain't have to play ball or sell drugs to get things, you know what I'm saying? Because being that close to, like, Philly, New York, Baltimore, the people was just different. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was people that wasn't, where I came from, that's all, you seen a black man with nice car,
you think he got it from one type of occupation?
One type thing, period. Like, there was no other, you know what I'm saying, way. And, like, my girl at the time, at Lincoln, who ended up being my wife, and I got 4 beautiful children with her. Her brother owned a nightclub in Philly, and she would go home and work every weekend, and she would always come back. He'd tell her, you know, she worked the door, and he'd tell her, take the bag. Like, you know what I'm saying? She always had money, and I used to be like, yo,
you getting this money from?
Man, what your brother into, man? Like, I'm like, let me meet him. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, need to connect. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, what is you talking about? She got mad at me. She was like, nigga, my brother don't sell no drugs or nothing. He's a businessman. He got businesses. Boom, boom, bam. Then I met her brother, and he owned a security company. He had all types of real estate. You know what I'm saying? And he was, I was like, Dad, where I'm from,
this is all I know.
That's all I know. That don't happen. So that kind of like opened my eyes up to like different type of hustles and knowing that opened my eyes up that the word hustle didn't mean drugs. Right. You know what I'm saying? So Lincoln really taught me that. Like, hustle didn't mean drugs. You know what I'm saying? Hustle just means you get money.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you could have been exposed to all that earlier.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Man.
Like, how your life or your journey could have been like 100%.
Yeah.
And, that's not unfortunately, our communities don't allow us to get that much exposure. Like you said, like it's usually drugs, basketball, football,
entertainment.
Yeah, that was
rapper,
crazy,
like. You know, and then as you get older, you like, I could have been doing this. I could have been doing videography or at the bar, your business, or whatever the case may have been. So,
like my sophomore year, I joined the fraternity, and then that's what really got me trenched in. I'm like, okay, this is home. You know what I'm saying? Met a lot of people through that, a lot of networks that just turned me on to a lot of different avenues to kind of make it in life, and you know, it just became easier at that point. You know, and that's just how it was. Like Lincoln always be home, always.
Lincoln always is home. That's a fact. I remember my first year going up there. It was hard. Definitely coming from New York, coming from the city. I'm like, man, where am I at? And I remember the spring semester when they start the mushroom fields or whatever. It smelled like
smell,
shit,
oh
yo.
my goodness.
You wake up to fresh manure.
Yes,
for like 2 months straight.
Yes.
I'm like, yo, what the? You can't close the windows. Nothing you could do, and it's beautiful outside.
Yep.
That's when the weather start breaking. Yeah, it's hot. Then you
don't even smell it no more.
Yeah, no, right. You don't smell no more. But I remember those days. But like those memories is like imprinted in my brain. You feel me? Like in addition to all the other best things that we did and whatnot. So, who was a mentor to you up there? Was there any professors, anybody, or that kind of was like, you know, I see you're an entrepreneur, you should keep going on this path. Is anybody up there?
No, because not really as far as the entrepreneur stuff. That just happened.
That's you.
I mean, as a kid, I was probably 10, 12 years old. I used to have a candy store out the front porch of the house. So that's just, you know. But I would say it was probably a collective of people, you know. It was probably a collective people up there. And that's how I got gravitated to the fraternity, like between Tick Coleman and Dr. Burroughs and Dr. Eddington. They was all like up in administration. The director of housing was Dr. Burroughs, and Dr. Eddington was the vice president. Just their swagger just attracted me to that. And then I was in the history department, so you know, Dr. Winchester and Dr. Wachuku was definitely instrumental. Wow. And Dr. Thomas was in the education department. She was definitely a mentor, and she knew how to teach us the way to operate in life. Like Dr. Thomas, like she taught a whole class on being able to code switch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we in the education class, and she's teaching us how to code switch, and like, look, y'all different. Y'all can't do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be able to switch up. She's like, it's cool to be like, hey, bro, boom, boom, bam, I'll do that. She said it's cool to do that in the right settings, but you gotta be able to turn that off and on. You gotta be able to code switch. So
that's your environment, man. Yeah. Know who you talking to.
So she taught us a whole class on code switching.
Wow. You know, I'm quite sure that wasn't even in the curriculum, but that's something that she was like, this is a life skill you need to have. Yeah. And you need more people like that. You know what I mean?
Like, so it wasn't nothing, man, for a professor to invite you over for dinner, or, you know, this is just how it was, man. It was a beautiful thing, man. You wouldn't, I can't talk about the PWI, but I can't imagine them getting that.
I don't think so. Because obviously, like, Lincoln, like, it was a family atmosphere. You know what I mean? We all coming from different places, and like we got to make the best of what we got, where we at. Like we all literally in the middle of nowhere. So what more are you gonna do? You know what I mean? So Lincoln, man, that's Lincoln for you.
Yeah, love Lincoln, man, love it.
I'm gonna switch gears off of Lincoln. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go there, but so I want to get back into like the bar and whatnot, because for the people, other entrepreneurs that are out there, like what type of capital does it take to start? Or like what, you don't have to name every step, but just, you know, if you could go over like a process, just in case anybody, you want to joggle people's brains, you know, get them thinking, you know, get them, you know, into whatever they want to do. But what does it take? What type of capital? If you could give us a roundabout number, you know, you don't have to give us an exact number, but something that's going to get the people like, oh, all right, you know.
I mean, I'm a real estate investor, so I'm always looking to steal something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? 100%. And at the time I got the bar, that was liquor license at the time was only going for like $35,000 when I got it, and that's about the time John Eagle was just starting to get into the game. So about a year after I got it, they went from 35 to 85 because John Ego started getting them up. So,
Gotcha.
but I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just a regular arm's length real estate transaction. Getting a mortgage, you know, you got good credit, you got debt to income, you got down payment. I mean, it's nothing different from the same standards of you mortgaging a house, except you know, they want 20% down instead of 3 or 5% down. So, I mean, but other than that, like a liquor license is considered real property, so they can lien that, they can lien the property. So it's just an arm's length real estate transaction. Like people tend to overthink it because they're like, ain't nobody gonna finance a bar, but you know, banks all the time is looking to finance real estate, period, and all this is real estate to them. So it's not rocket science. It's people tend to overthink it because it got liquor license involved, that you got to have all this cash, but you don't. You just got to have a decent credit score, debt to income ratio, which people know about from getting a house, and a down payment.
Okay.
That's it. So, you know what I'm saying?
So, how long does it take you to recoup your money?
I mean, to recoup your money, your down payment money, or?
Correct, because then I had a follow-up question. Yeah.
I mean, well, it took me some time because the bar was ran down when I got it. So it took me some time because I had to keep reinvesting, right? And, you know, but it was ran down, but I got it for a decent price. Like, I got it for 70, you know, so, but over time, I had to keep putting into it. You know what I'm saying? And,
like
you know,
upgrades,
like they needed 17 down on the 70, but I always had to constantly upgrade. Like, it was a mess. Like, you know, the floors was caving in, you know what I'm saying? So in like year 3 or 4, I shut down for 6 weeks and, you know, put another 50 into it. You know what I'm saying? So it's always I'll get it all back when I sell, probably.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get it back when I sell, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it. I don't really look at it as, can I get it back now? I'll probably never see it all at once again until I sell. But when I sell,
it's pretty hefty.
Yeah, it's going to be hefty.
The bag will be secure.
So, so it's not, you know, it's easier than people think. Right now, I think people are overpaying for bars and restaurants. I think they're overpaying. I think it's
real estate as
real estate on the whole, right?
Yeah,
so I think people are definitely overpaying for establishments because, you know, the price of a rum and coke is the price of rum and coke. Like, you can only upsell so much. You know what I'm saying? You can't price yourself out of the game. And, you know, and so, you know, I strive for years to cut down my overhead, and at one time security was probably one of my biggest overhead, and I haven't had security for about 12 years. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't had security for about 12 years. So, I mean, I took a lot of work to get to that point, but we finally got to that point, and you know, just that alone is money in the pocket.
Right, exactly.
Every time you open the door, like every time you open the door, you're starting off with money in the pocket because you're not paying this guy in case something happens. But there's a trade-off in that because you might not get the money coming in that you could get because you kind of setting a standard where everyone's not, you know, people when they spend their money, they like to play by their own rules.
Oh, okay.
Because they like, I'm spending my money, I should be able to do whatever I want to do. I'm spending my money. But I'm like, not here.
Right, exactly.
You can't do that here.
Turn that down.
So they tend to go places that they can do that. And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with not getting all the money. Like, that's perfect for me.
Yeah.
There's enough to go around.
Yeah.
100%.
So, you got this event space that we in now.
Oh, my fault, bro.
You still had more?
I had one more. I had my follow-up question.
Okay, go ahead. Shoot.
So, how much money are we talking? Like I said, we don't have to give an exact number. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but like on an annual basis, how much can an average bar see, or you know, how much can you actually bring home? Like I said,
net.
Yeah, It doesn't have to be a exact number.
I don't know about that.
It's all right. It's all right. We could go past it, but you know.
I mean, it fluctuates. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always maintenance to do and all that.
Okay.
It fluctuates because you figure in the bar. Now, one thing about a bar is like you're constantly restocking.
Mm-hmm.
So like anything I make today, I gotta replace tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's always it's not as it appears. You know what I'm saying? So if you gross, say you gross 400, I don't know if you gross 400. I mean, you might a third maybe. You know what I'm saying? 80. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
All right. I mean, yeah,
80,
100.
you know.
That's just the starting point. That's just to get your minds going.
Yeah,
you know,
what
in
I'm
case
saying?
you decide to start your own business, and you know.
Yeah, and you know it's very obtainable, man.
Right,
Very
absolutely,
obtainable.
absolutely.
Very.
The fans appreciate that.
That's a fact. Nah, they will. So we was talking about the BJ Event Center, and you had a lot of different organizations have events here or parties, or even though you have like stuff with the kids and outreach and political campaign. How has opening this event center expanded your reach in the community?
It definitely has, because people are finding out about it. I really don't advertise it like I should. That's probably one of my downsides in business. I don't really market. I'm all like word of mouth, and
That's pretty much Pittsburgh.
it could definitely be much more, but I think that the people who is meant to reach is reaching. Like there's a realtor having like a first time home owners workshop here on Tuesday the 19th. You know, we got a 420 event going on Wednesday with some infused 420 goods and stuff. So it's like reaching it's reaching the right people. You know what I'm saying? And you know, for people stuff like that, I tend to be like, come on, it's for the love of the community. Or like we do open stage to let people express themselves, poetry, music, rap, whatever. So it's like when we do stuff like that, I'm like, I don't want to charge anybody for that. It's like, let's just do it for the love of the community. I want this to be a community space that people can come and do a workshop with the PowerPoint, use the projectors, or use it for a party with the blinking lights and the colorful lights, and just for multifaceted, line dancing, yoga, like this, whatever. I just want it to be that type space, and it's trending to be that.
No, it is, because like I don't work too far from here. And we down here, we come here, pretty often. Then definitely you have the alumni event before here. You have different PPS schools come here and have their little mixers and stuff like that. So you definitely are reaching with people. So I'm definitely able to see how you're able to bridge the gap between, like the regular working man and, just people that come to a bar. So I think that's pretty cool. Word.
I try to keep it professional.
Yeah, you do what you do.
I mean, absolutely, man. Respect the name. Respect. Oh yeah, he did say you had it early. That's what's up, though, man.
Christmases and birthdays was over.
Nah, you gotta take care of your responsibilities, man, and everything shall come full circle. 100%. So we talked about the bar. We talked about the event center. What's next? What's the next big expansion for you?
I don't know, man. Me and a partner of mine's, we trying to do something with some housing. Me and a partner of mine's, Mark, we bought a school last July. Off of Pittsburgh Public Schools. So we bought the Horseman School up on Shadeland Avenue. So we don't have a plan for it yet,
but it's yours.
But it's ours.
You got the property.
It's 56,000 square feet. It's in the city. It's 3.5 acres. And the city claimed they got a housing shortage, so we're going to have some conversations with the city.
Like HUD and
all that,
the URA and everybody.
You can't. It's hard to get 3.5 acres in the city through here. You know what I'm saying? So
there's so many things you could do with that. Like I know a company that they turned it to a senior citizen building.
Yeah, so
that's a lot.
We open to any of that.
Yeah.
Senior citizens, healthcare, you know,
hospital,
whatever. You know, there's a buzzword that's spreading around now since the pandemic. Social determinants of health. That's like the new buzzword in nonprofit stuff. So can
you expand on that?
I mean, it's just
I don't know what that.
I don't know. It's the social determinants of health, like
social determinants of health.
Yeah, that's what the new buzzword is now, where they're trying to get people's health socially and physically. You know what I'm saying, together, and you know, housing is a part of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, sustainable, affordable housing and. You know, regular doctor's visits and, you know, regular medication and all that type stuff. And they got, you know, out of the pandemic, we realized, you know, the pitfalls in that type of stuff, you know, and people mentally and stuff went through a lot. So that's been where a lot of the funding has shifted out of the pandemic. But
mental health.
So
mental health.
So we're definitely open. You know, so that's my next expansion is something with some housing. So, you know, we got it in July, so we're coming up on the year. We don't have a plan exactly yet, but we're kicking tires with a couple different organizations and things of that nature. So, you know, we got a new mayor. Hopefully we can have some conversations with him.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
And, you know, and maybe, you know, we could create some black wealth with some, you know, some true homegrown black wealth instead of, you know, Pittsburgh loved their out-of-towners. They loved their out-of-towners.
we come and take blocks.
So hopefully they mess with a homegrown, you know.
As they should.
You know what I'm saying? That's always been my knock on Pittsburgh. It's like, we love our out-of-towners. Like, all the out-of-town people come in, build, get loans and grants, and I'd be like, well, what about us? You know, so we gonna see what about us, because I got a piece of property that I'm gonna challenge the leadership of Pittsburgh to, you know, like, hey, do you want to create some black wealth? Because they know I'm gonna recycle it in the community. Like, so
because you've been doing it, you got the track record.
Exactly. So I'm gonna do what I've been doing. I'm gonna recycle it in the community. So that's my next expansion.
That's what's up, man. That was a lot of gems right there.
Like,
oh my gosh. Like, one, just buying a property in a prime location, and then it being the right type of realty to have a school to have so many options. Like you said, doctor's office, turn it back into a school, an elderly home, like. There's
so many things you can have different suites where people can have offices, whatever you want.
There's a ball field attached to it. You can build on the ball field, or you can leave the green space. You know,
have different little leagues going on.
However they want to do it.
You can build something on top of that.
You know, exactly what they want to do. You know, at the end of the day,
let's make some money.
I'm trying to make some money. I tell people all the time, I'm about the community. I love the community. But I am a capitalist.
Okay.
I'm a capitalist at heart, but I'm a capitalist with a heart. I'm not a heartless capitalist.
That's right, 100%.
I'm a capitalist with a heart who gives back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I am a capitalist at the end of the day. I'm trying to get paid. I got 6 kids.
At the end of the day,
I got 6 kids, 2 grandkids. You know what I'm saying?
Let's not lose sight of that.
Trying
to make some money.
You know,
it's all about the dollar. You ain't doing it for the. I mean,
babies, mamas. I got
I love that, man.
You know what I'm saying? It get heavy, man. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta keep that money coming in.
And I got grown kids, and they get heavier as they get older.
Oh, yeah.
They get heavier as they get older.
Kids, you never stop paying for stuff for your kids.
Oh, my goodness, man.
That's
the eggs just are more expensive.
Yeah.
You know, they need down payments.
Right. The house, the car.
They don't need $20 or more for the store.
Hell no.
They need $20,000.
I wish I could go back to them days.
Right. So, is there any? You said your kids didn't want it. Didn't want it per se, but weren't interested in the bar. So
as
what's
of yet, I haven't seen them really show much interest.
Okay, so how can you? Are you going to still pass it down to them anyway? I'm trying to get to the generational wealth part where, you know.
I'm not going to pass it down to them if they don't want it. You know, I'll pass it down to them if they want it, of course. Right. But I'm not going to. pass it down to them if they don't want it.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't set them up like that either.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because it's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? And
They have their own goals and aspirations.
and like there's a guy, our old Irish guy, Pat Mullen, Big Cat Pat. He used to own Big Cat Pat's bar up there on Brighton Road. And Pat congratulated me when I got the bar. He's like, look, he said, good luck. You're going to have a lot of fun because I did. And you probably going to lose your family in the process. You're probably going to lose your wife and kids in the process.
Oh, man.
So everything Pat said,
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't exactly want to set my kids up for that unless they
Right.
really
If they show the
wanted it.
passion.
If they showed
yeah.
the passion, but I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather liquidate and let them do something.
Yeah.
You know, here go you. Y'all gonna each take, you know, y'all each take $100,000, and you know what I'm
Go from
saying.
there.
Go from there.
Whatever you wanna do,
You know
you
what I'm saying.
do it,
Whatever you
yeah.
want to do, but the nail them down to this. You know, because I always say the time we got to put in here, we really make less than minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? The time that it takes to do this, and it's a cash business, and you know, people say you got to trust somebody, but like, who do you like? You know, right now. Do you come home and just throw your wallet on the table and be like, baby, count that up? You might. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah.
But what I'm saying is, that's basically what you're asking somebody to do is like, hey, here, count my money. You know what I'm saying? Count my money.
So the legacy is to be determined? You
To
don't-
be determined. Yeah.
Okay.
It's set up for them, though. If they
Okay.
want to ease into it, it's definitely set up. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I got two of my girls, they might be interested in it. They got the entrepreneurial spirit, you know what I'm saying, that I see so far. You know, the rest of them, you know, I still got to see, they kind of younger, you know what I'm saying, but I got two girls that's kind of like, they hustlers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I got two of them that, if they was dudes, you'd be like, damn, they hustle like you.
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm
100%.
saying? But, yeah, I got two of them that's hustlers, man. You know,
That's what's
two,
up, man.
Yeah, two of my girls is hustlers.
So before we finish, what are some business things you live by? Like, what are some standards or some principles you stand on when you're running your business?
Man, I'm always, you know, your word is everything in business, you know. Customer service, you know, like, you know, customer service is first and foremost. Your word is everything, and I'm like De Niro in Heat. I never get too attached to anything.
Yeah, you can't walk
I
away
can't
from
walk
30
away
seconds.
from 30 seconds when the heat's around the corner.
Right.
Like, that's one of my standards in business.
What is it? If it's
He said you shouldn't attach yourself
to anything you can't let
well,
go of 30 seconds
in
or
30
less.
seconds
When
on
you feel
flat.
the heat
and you
around
come
the
around the
corner.
corner.
Yeah.
That was a classic. That was my movie.
That's a classic. That's a
Yeah,
classic right
I
there.
live
That's
by
my
that,
movie.
man. I live by that. You know what I'm saying? And Scarface won't break my balls on my word.
Yeah.
For nobody.
That's a fact.
That's 100%.
That heat there, that hit right there because I was actually watching that recently.
It take you a long way in business too,
Nah, for
man.
real,
It's
think
just,
about
you know
it.
what I'm saying? It's just and a lot of times it be the small things. It'd be like, man, we ain't gonna argue about that. You know what I'm saying? We gonna live to see another day.
At the end of the day.
Absolutely.
All
Hey, yo,
right.
go check that out. I got that 2 times on DVD. You heard? That's a classic.
Yeah.
And don't be shooting up LA streets, man.
Yeah, that's a classic, right? Heat's a classic.
Yeah,
definitely a classic,
It's been a couple reiterations of like people trying to play that scene out
Yeah.
when they was doing after the bank robbery and all that. But like, yo, don't be stupid out here. Let's just call it like it is. Like, don't have bullets bouncing off
that
you.
shit
Nah, we don't
wild,
want
man.
Yeah, good classic.
We don't
good
condone
classic.
that either.
Yes, sir. Yo, big homie Jamie, man.
This is a pleasure,
we
yo.
appreciate you.
sure, man.
We gonna wrap this up. Tell them where they can find you.
And you can find me on Facebook, Young Brothers Bar, BJ's Event Center, Jamie Younger. You can follow me on Facebook. Pages is public. Come see us. We do a lot of different events here, whether it be poetry, guest bartending with Bernard Alexander. We do a lot of different events here. We tailgate for Stiller games. We cook out. We do fundraisers. we do it all down here, man. We just like to have fun, good old fashioned fun, nice clean fun. Everybody get home at night and live to see another day.
That's a fact.
That's all it's about at the end of the
Gotta
day.
have those environments, man, where you can just chill. You know, I'm gonna be back for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm always gonna be back.
I'm trying to figure out now what we're going to do. I think we've been talking about having like an event or like a networking event.
Got
so
you.
like, you know, when we plan that, you know, when we finish planning, we gonna
Definitely
holler
wanna
at you
hit your
first.
Got you, man.
Hit your phone.
Got you, man. Got you.
Talk some numbers
Be a lot of
and make it
networks.
happen.
Be a lot of networks going here, man. A lot of customers done got jobs out of here. Just but the people that come in and out of here, man, the caliber of people that come in and out of here. A lot of people has gotten a lot of resources, whether it be a banker, a job. I'm talking about good paying jobs, like not no. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of quality customers that come in from all different walks of life that you would just never know.
That's love.
And you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a networking place.
All right, say that. That's all we needed to
That's
hear.
all we needed.
The confirmation. Stamp that.
Definitely a networking place,
You
man.
know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know, man. That's a wrap, JB.
It's a wrap.
All right.
We appreciate you, brother.
I
We
appreciate
love
y'all,
you,
man. I'm honored, man. I've never, you know, I didn't think I was anybody to be on anybody's podcast.
Nah, my brother.
Nah, you
like,
putting
you
this on
definitely
work,
deserve
man.
your roses,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
16 going on 17 years in the game. Like, nah. We're going to try to highlight this as much as possible, man. Like, because we got to let people know that you're here and what they're missing. And most importantly, black owned. So we definitely support
Never
that.
thought when I was 32 I'd be getting into a bar.
Yeah.
But you're here now, and you know you doing your thing. So
It's only up from
Right.
there. You heard about it.
the
So
level up is crazy. So
you already know. K,
Chaz,
when we are culture content, our man Jimmy came through, held us down at his event center. So we just want y'all to know it was love all around. Of course, in Pittsburgh, definitely come stop by. If in New York, matter of fact, wherever you at, stop by Jimmy's bar. You heard? So yeah, love is love. We appreciate that. We appreciate y'all.
LU in the building.
LU.
Beta chapter in the building.
You already know the